And if that weren't enough, there is more news because the Washington Post is reporting that Amazon is now considering backing out of building HQ2 in New York City due to local opposition, including from Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who represents the district. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has said on Friday, we have to make Amazon a reality. Is this a negotiating tactic? Is it not going to be in New York City?
I have thought, basically the day after Amazon announced they were going to HQ2, and we immediately saw, activists in that community in Long Island City, just across the river from us here, saying that they didn't want this, that it was a bad deal for New York. I kind of thought, you know what? It doesn't feel like this is going to end up happening. And as the Washington Post notes in their reporting, there have been no signed commitments for office space yet from Amazon. Now, the reason that this story is coming out is because Amazon needs to get this project underway. They need to start hiring. They need to start locking down that office space, which they haven't yet done. The terms of the tax breaks that they would get, they're not law yet, right? They're not in stone. And so I think that both sides have a little bit of wiggle room, and I kind of feel like we've been getting to this point. We've been building to the point where Amazon says, you know what, obviously the community doesn't want us here. We're just either going to not get these tax breaks or we're going to take our ball and go home. I mean, it just is very clear that Amazon is not being welcomed to this community, and so it doesn't seem like the deal they initially announced late last year is going to hold.
So I'm looking at this as more of a question. So is New York City going to be closed to big tech? Are we going to say, all right, big tech, we don't want you here.
But here's the thing.
We have you a little bit. We have one floor in our building, Facebook, Instagram. We don't want any more of you. Isn't that a problem?
But here's the thing. That's Facebook's biggest office outside of California. Google has their biggest office outside of their headquarters in New York City, in the West Village. They have a whole office building. That building is a city block long, and they didn't go out and basically extort the city to get that set up. If you want to be in New York City, you're going to go to New York City. Amazon did this whole dog and pony show. Every city played along, including New York, and you can fault the leaders for doing that in the first place. But the reality is that the community understands, I think rightfully, that New York has the leverage over Amazon. It's not the other way around. Like Amazon wants to be in
Amazon.
New York. Right,
I mean,
but
I feel like
none of the people who live in LIC, none of the people who live in the community want Amazon.
I also think that Amazon is not a tech company in the same way that Facebook and Google are. Amazon is retail also, and they're bringing different jobs than just what Google and Facebook.
They're not bringing like retail jobs.
No, but they're bringing different stuff to New York City. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how it goes down. I always wanted it to be Newark. So maybe they could go.
I'm sure Phil Murphy is more than willing to bend over backwards to get Amazon over to New York.
But it creates a problem here. Where's this talent going to come from? These tech companies need talent. If this headquarters is not going to be in New York City, it's going somewhere.
I think you're chicken and egging it, right? The tech talent's already here. That's why Amazon was going to come to New York City. It's because people are already in the city that have the skills Amazon's looking for. And the point that people in that community have made is, we didn't need to give them a tax break. They wanted to be here in the first place. And so I think that 4 months on, with this noise not getting any quieter, that is kind of what Amazon's looking at here.
Maybe Amazon will just walk away. Maybe they'll just pick up their ball and go to Nashville.
Can they leave Whole Foods, though? Don't take Whole Foods away. I like Whole Foods.
Can they also leave the drones that are going to deliver everything in 2 seconds here? And it's not like they're not going to be contributing members of the tax base here.
Well,
that's the thing. It's $150,000 that these people are going to get paid on average.
Let's go to a